So where'd you go to college?
I went to Oregon State, the
Okay.
Oregon State.
How was that? What'd you study there?
Entrepreneurship. I mean, I really didn't have my stuff figured out, to be honest, like
Hmm.
what I wanted to do really until honestly a couple years after I was done with school. Like I was just kind of getting a degree to get a degree.
Right.
Um, so I think I watched one of your other videos. You said you're a junior, right? At
Yep.
where are you at right now?
I'm at Winthrop.
Yeah, so you just like doing your thing right now is and wanting to be a coach and like get involved in basketball, like
Hmm.
you're leaps and bounds ahead of where I was at when I was a junior in college.
Hmm.
It took me a sec, bro. It took me a sec.
Yeah. What were you thinking at the time? Something with sports, obviously, or were you just literally?
Yeah. I wanted to do something with sports. I just to be honest, like wasn't quite as motivated doing schoolwork versus like being in the real world, you know?
Yeah.
Um I had an internship working for the Oregon State Athletic Department, just doing like some marketing stuff.
Okay.
Cool. Like I got to be like around that stuff, around sports and
Hmm.
um, basketball specifically. But um, yeah, I would say that it took a sec for me to kind of figure out what the heck I really wanted to do, and I ended up actually working for this recruiting company after school, and
Okay.
I worked for about 4 or 5 months. Nothing to do with sports, nothing to do with basketball. I was just like, damn, like, is this what I do? Like, I just get this,
Yeah.
this BS job and
Hmm.
put on this fake front and kind of is this just my life now?
When you say recruiting company, do you mean like for jobs or like for sports?
Yep, for just for jobs. So
Okay.
there's a company called Aerotech. They're great people there, and a lot of people can thrive in that environment. But it just wasn't for me. Like,
Right. Yep.
I just, you know,
So then,
uh, I was there for 5 or 6 months, and then just kind of hit the restart button because I was like, I need to do something that like I enjoy, like
respect. Yeah.
here and like cold call people all day for shit I'm not interested in.
So then after that, you go to your equipment manager for the Trailblazers, right? Is that right after that?
It wasn't right after that. I did some. I'll kind of give you like
Mhm.
the whole story if that will help kind of
Yeah, for sure.
ending of progression of the career. But um, yeah, so I hit restart button. I was still living with my parents at this point. I was 23, 24, and just trying to figure everything out. And my mom actually was, she had a knee injury and she was getting rehabbed by a fella just, at some
Hmm.
local or something. And turned out that this dude was actually Alan Crabb's trainer. Alan Crabb was just drafted to Portland.
Yep.
And my mom was like, oh, you would really like get along with this dude. Like you have a lot in common, like basketball, etc.
Hmm.
All right, like, hit him up. He ended up, he was doing some coaching at one of the local high schools out here, Westland High School. Peyton Richard actually went
Yep.
there. Um, so I just pulled up and ended up like chopping it up with him. We kind of saw eye to eye, and he was like, "Yeah, you should come coach with me." Like,
Mm.
this and that. So I ended up doing a bunch of that, like coached a few AAU teams, coached for the high school uh, with him for a year or two, and just kind of had some like BS, like whatever jobs on the side as well, just to kind of like make ends meet.
Yes, sir.
Um, and that was kind of what introduced me to the Blazer stuff because I was just kind of like around. Um, this fellow's name is Casey Treke. He's a
Okay.
really good trainer, NBA trainer, and so I was just kind of around. And Alan was like, "Yeah, you should come, like, see if we can get you in, like, because I was just venting to him, like, I wanted to be in like that sports space, like to
Right.
actually, make money." Yeah, so I ended up doing some equipment management stuff, which was cool. I really, really enjoyed like being in like that environment, like with the team.
Yeah.
a different feel about that, like, just being involved with
100%. Yep.
any athletic or any collegiate or professional sports. There's just like a different vibe, like when you get on that 6, 7, 8 game win streak,
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, so kind of did that for a year or two, season or two, and I just kind of knew that like I wanted to be in like some form of like front office like development or some form of like on court training plus like player development, like off court, like
Right.
kind of like those kind of hybrid roles in the league right now. But
Yeah.
honestly, that would have been like an astronomical jump for like a person, an individual like me, like in that like equipment kind of role. You kind of get like pigeonholed a little bit into that, pretty quickly. I was, good at that job and like meeting all the right people I needed to meet. I knew that I was going to kind of be stuck in that if I kept doing that. And nothing, obviously, no offense to anybody in those careers. Like it just wasn't exactly what I wanted to do at that point. And honestly, there's a lot of travel associated with that, and
yeah,
it can just be a lot. And so I ended up meeting like the right people I needed to meet with, just that are kind of around, Adidas personnel, Nike personnel, people that are just at the games, like sitting down.
So you were at these NBA games and you just knew who these higher level people were and you just simply went up to them and talked to them, or did you like connect with someone who knew someone else, or you know what I mean?
Yeah. I feel like I just kind of knew who they were just from kind of being around, like, Dame.
Okay.
Dame would have like his like summer camps and like stuff like that. So I kind of like be around that, like, and then I kind of just knew like the Adidas personnel that were like associated with his Adidas business, So kind of just chopped it up with them. Like, there's kind of like the media room where people would grab a soda or like grab a program. I wasn't ever like pulling up to anyone like mid game, but it would be like, if we're outside, it's like, what up? Like,
right.
introduce myself and just be like, if y'all ever need anything, like this is the space I'm trying to get into, and like just kind of like,
okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
A quick intro that like shows them that like you're a like-minded individual. That, like,
but not doing too much.
Yeah, not doing too much, just like giving them the option to hit you if like they need. And that was like I think the beginning of one of the seasons, and then actually towards the end, one of the fellows, his name's J.R. Duperier, who's actually my colleague now, total legend. I don't know if you follow him on Instagram or anything, but
I've heard the name. I don't follow him, but
yeah, he's one of the pillars within like Adidas sports marketing, and he's been working with like guys like Dame and stuff for a long time, and he works with a few other.
So he's the one that hired you?
He didn't hire me, but he reached out to me, and towards the end of that season, when I had introduced myself at the beginning of the season, I mean, I didn't, 6, 7, 8 months, I thought that it was just a lost cause. And he was like, yo, like, he didn't even really necessarily remember that I like had dapped him up at the beginning of the season. He was just like, yo, your number from like your boss with the Blazers, like, I need some help at Dame's camps. Are you trying to come out and just like help?
Yeah, literally.
I was like, yeah, like I'm there, like bet. And just that was kind of where it all started for me with Adidas. And JR just had a lot of work that he needed help with, and I was just trying to make his life easier, essentially.
So you're with Adidas Hoops, right?
Yep.
What is your like title exactly?
Just basketball sports marketing manager.
Okay. So kind of
sports marketing manager.
What do you do?
So I'm the intermediary in between the NBA athletes that Adidas has partnered with and signed contractually, and Adidas.
So you're like a middleman.
Yeah. So for example, there's there can't be like 10 different voices that from Adidas when like we're trying to get insights from a specific player. Like it's got to go through one person. It can't like, you know what I mean? Like can't be having all these different conversations.
So that everything is set in stone, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, that's essentially what it is. Like obviously that's in a nutshell.
Yeah.
An nutshell explanation, but when an athlete like is elevated to that signature status,
yep,
so there's a lot more that's involved with it. Like our product designers and those types of personnel like need insight from the athlete in order to create what they're going to create.
Okay.
So it's going to need to get that information from the athlete.
Cool.
And then that's like a third of it, and then
right.
The other 2/3 is like when like Adidas training or like even Adidas basketball, I guess is a good example. Adidas basketball wants a specific athlete to like be featured in like a certain commercial or like a new product campaign.
Okay.
They're like, oh, X, Y, and Z athlete would be great for this. Like that is, I'm gonna field that request and be like, nah, like Donovan isn't really gonna mess with this. Like,
for example, the video you just posted today, like Adidas reached out to you to try to find someone to do that shoot or whatever, that commercial, right?
Donovan for Crayola.
Yeah, so, I saw your post.
Yep. Yeah. So kind of. So Crayola, the Crayola collaboration has been, something that Adidas product has worked on for the last 18 months.
All right.
It was kind of decided that Donovan was going to be the one to kind of carry that campaign.
Okay.
It's more me. That's figured out on the back end a long time ago. But
okay.
Yeah, it's more me like.
Well, I get it. I was just talking about that example. I get it.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's awesome, man. So now I kind of want to talk about do you do anything with the Adidas Circuit basketball, like the 3SS?
Not so much. We have like a grassroots division that manages that.
Okay.
I definitely am in tune with the group who leads that, but that's not technically like under my portfolio of responsibilities. What do you think about the new Adidas legacy like program as it like relates to like the grassroots stuff?
The legacy program as in the circuit, the 3SSB?
Yeah, what do you think about it?
I think it's like, I've always honestly thought the Adidas circuit is sick, like the Gauntlet stuff, and back when they used to do like Adidas Nations. Well, they still do, but like that era of Adidas Nations, like I think it's cool, man. I really think Adidas is like right there with Nike as far as circuit wise. Obviously everyone's gonna say EYBL, but working with like a team in the 3SSB, I think there's some damn good players in that league. And I kind of want to, I'm trying really hard to like get in somehow with that. I literally, the guy I work for, I'm always asking, do you know people at Adidas Hoops? Like, and I'm like, what would you recommend for me to like reach out? But he was just like, when the time's right, we'll reach out. But yeah, I think Adidas Hoops, or I think the 3SSB is cool. But I know they changed it. What was the name last? It was Gauntlet, right?
Yep.
But yeah, I think it's sick. Did you go to I think there's a pic on your Instagram. You were at the Melo Ball versus Zion game.
Yeah.
Was that crazy?
That was in Vegas 2018. Summer championships in Vegas. That was sick. I mean, that was more.
Yeah, I know. Cause like big ballers.
My role. What's
really,
that?
Like big ballers weren't really an Adidas team, right? That was kind of just like put together for.
Yep. Yeah, that was, I would say back a couple of years ago, my role was more kind of a more hybrid NBA grassroots. So I was
Okay.
kind of in between. So that's why I
But
was
now you're just NBA.
that stuff a little more. And I also worked a lot with a handful of social media trainers that we were partnering with, and we're still partnering with them. I'm just not.
Which guys? Sackman and them?
Yeah, Sackman, Devin Williams, Drew Hanlon, Paul Fabritz.
Yeah, I know all those guys. Well, I don't know them. Obviously, I know who they're talking about. I interviewed a guy, had him on my podcast. I Can B-Ball. He was like telling me about how he's trying to do what DJ Sackman does and stuff. He said he's talking to some people at Adidas, but I don't know um what that's doing. But what was I gonna say? Crap.
Before I got into this space, bro, I was like trying to do training.
Really?
Yeah, and that was like kind of my first love, but it's tough. Like
Yeah.
you gotta have like the right, timing's gotta be right. You gotta have the right
Yeah.
clientele, you know.
So
like
you're basically just working your dream job at this point, right?
I mean, I'm loving what I'm doing right now. Unfortunately, Corona has like really it's taken a lot of the perks out of this job. I mean, I still loving what I'm
Right.
doing. Loving the people that I'm working with internally and externally.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I mean, bro, we went on a month-long trip last year with like Donovan and like his family, like just like promoting
Yeah.
the issue one. It was just like we literally just did a world tour, and like those are the things that like are you just can't like replicate that like with me or
Yeah.
any other roles, and it was just we're kind of getting robbed of all that stuff and just going to games and like supporting the guys, after the game, and
Yeah.
going to dinners and
Yeah. No, that's
just
behind
not,
the scenes stuff, right?
yeah, all that kind of intangible stuff that like Corona has taken
Yeah.
away. I'm sure
Sucks, man.
everyone's dealing with all that stuff too, though.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So actually, it's cool. We're an Adidas team over here at Winthrop, so we get the three stripes gear. We got the catalog. We got to pick out a couple pairs. I grabbed the Harden volume. I think four is the. It was like the Phoenix Suns colorway. I think it's like orange and purple. Obviously, I don't know if it's Phoenix Suns, but you know the pack I'm talking about.
Yep.
I think it was called like the Western Conference pack or some crazy. What do you rock? Do you rock Yeezys and stuff?
Yeah, I rock it all, bro. I would say like I've gotten a little more like simplistic with my drip. I
Yeah.
will say like just like a lot of like Y3, like all white, all black, like
Mhm.
something like I kind of have I like that kind of like that Jordan Clarkson type swag, like a little bit of like skateboard, like Gary Trent Jr., like a little bit of that shit.
He can dress. Yeah, yeah, I know exactly what you mean. I
Mm-hmm.
like what is it called? What was the best experience you had as the equipment manager for the Blazers?
Um, well, to clarify, I wasn't the head equipment manager. I was just one of
Yeah,
the men.
on the staff, right? My bad.
But man, just being like in the locker room, like after a gnarly game,
Mm-hmm.
like just shit like that is wild. Like when I was a kid, like you just kind of like have this, you just like have this vision like in your head of like what you think it looks
Right.
like, and like what you think these dudes are really doing,
Uh-huh.
and you just don't know until you see it in there. Like I would say probably like I used to love when Ed Davis was on the Blazers. Like him and I were like kind of tight, and
Mm-hmm.
he would always be like, "Yo, like get some fire like on the get some fire on the speakers pregame. So like in the locker room, and then they would kind of walk through the weight room to get to the tunnel to go onto the court. And so the weight room was just always bumping, like, you know, some gangster shit. He would always be like, yo, put on like some Future or something, like, let's get hyped.
Yeah.
I think my favorite part was just like Ed just like giving me the head nod and then just like putting on some like Future or like
so you were
or whatever.
Just NBA. You were damn near.
What's that?
Said you were damn near in the league. Not a player, but as close as you can get.
Oh, it was as close as you could get, bro. It was like there was just a different feeling about like the music bumping and like them like getting hyped for the game and like running out into the tunnel, you know, and then me like following them like with all my water bottles and shit.
That's crazy. Man, that's crazy. That's some like Mike shit.
Yeah, no, it was just seeing that stuff behind the scenes, and then like, you know, when the summers would get busy with like players like trickling in like before preseason would start, like before training camp would start, and like the like my boss like needing some extra help, so I would come in and like, you know, help rebound for the guys or shit, setting screens and rolling, or just like involved like on the court.
Yeah.
Just trying to like help these dudes get better. I can't remember who it was. I think it might have been Aaron Aflalo when Portland traded for him. He was only with us for like that one season, but then Wesley Matthews tore his Achilles and kind of just like, I think he was only with us for like maybe 5 or 6 games before Wesley tore his Achilles. And we were looking like so good then. I was like, damn, I'm confident in this team.
Yeah, I remember that team.
I think Aaron like had a tough shooting game or something and like wanted to just like stay in the arena and just like get shots up. And I was like, I got you.
So you were just in the arena? You were in the arena court, or you guys were in the practice gym?
We were in both. This specific situation though, like Aflalo just wanted to get shots like in the arena just like right after the game because he had a tough shooting game.
That's sick. That is well. This is gonna end at 3, so I just want to thank you for your time, and I really think what you're doing is really cool, man, and hope to maybe meet you someday.
Yeah, brother. Let me know how else I can help. Like, honestly, you're leaps and bounds ahead of where I was when I was a junior in college. So, yeah, dude, just keep following the dreams and
yes, sir.
Don't settle, because I settled for 4 months and quickly realized that that's not where it's at.
Right.
So,
all right, man.
We'll figure it out.
Thank you so much, and just best of luck with everything.
Thanks, brother. You
See
too.
ya.